Uh, Hi everybody. In this video, I will show you. In this video, I will discuss about a sample question related to activity-based costing. This sample question contains the things that you as a non-accounting student should know about activity-based costing. Okay, let's see the question. A company has two products, auto car and robotoy, and the company uses 40,000 labor hours for production. Each product requires an equal total of direct labor hours to be produced. Okay. Currently, the company assigns overhead to products on the basis of direct labor hours. And then the management accountants of the company has the following cost data related to both products. Okay, this is auto car, this is robotoy, so these are the cost data. So see, the first data is the direct material. Direct material cost for auto car is 78,000. For robotoy is 64,000. Direct labors 60,000 for this product and 60,000 also for this product. Okay, the unit completed, 500 auto car has been completed, and also 1,200 robotoys have been completed. There are other data about cost. So to produce these two products, the company has to spend 2,000 hours for inspection here. This one 3,000 hours for inspection, 1,000 machine hour for auto car, 3,000 machine hour for robotoys, 500 moves for auto car and 1,000 moves for robotoy, 150 orders for auto car and 350 orders for robotoy. Okay, so other data, this is activities related data related to the production of these two products. So see here, to produce both products, the company has to do 4 activities: inspection activity, machining activity, material handling activity, and receiving activity. For each activity, the cost is 20,000 for inspection, 40,000 for machining, 30,000 for this activity, and 10,000 for this activity. So these are the activity drivers. Okay, activity drivers means the things that make the activity increase or decrease. For inspection activity, the activity driver is the inspection hour. The more the inspections hour, the higher the cost. Okay, so machining, the activity driver for the machining activity is the machine hours. So it is logic. The more machine hour, the more cost. Material handling, the activity driver is moves, the number of moves, how many moves made by the workers to handle the product. So the receiving activity, the activity driver is the number of orders. So you can see here, for this activity, the capacity is 5,000, 4,000, 1,500, and 500. It means that here inspection activity, the company has spent 5,000 inspection hours. The company has done 5,000 inspection hours. The company also has done 4,000 machine hours for related to the machining activity. And then 1,500 moves, and then the number of orders is 500 orders. Okay, this is the question. And then the question asks you, first, using the data that you have seen above, the question asks you to calculate unit cost for autocar and robotoy using direct labor hours for assigning overhead. Means that the question asks you to calculate unit cost for these two products using traditional costing. The second question is, the question asks you to calculate unit cost for these two products using activity-based costing. And then the question asks two more explanations question. Okay, the question will ask you to explain something. Okay, we focus on doing the calculation first. So the first question is, the question asks you to calculate unit cost for autocar and robotoy using the direct labor hours, which is using the traditional costing. Okay, so now remember, the question asks you to calculate unit cost. How to answer this question? So I will show you how to answer this question. The question asks you the question asks you to use traditional costing. To calculate unit cost. Okay, always remember, in management accounting, when you want to calculate product cost or service cost, the formula is always same. The formula is direct material cost plus direct labor cost plus overhead cost. Okay, so let's see how to answer this question using traditional costing. There are two products. The first one is autocar. The second product is the robotoy. So now, okay. So when you have to calculate the product cost, you know that the basic formula is the direct material cost plus the direct labor cost plus the overhead cost. Okay. Okay, now let's see. What is the direct material cost for both products? Okay, see here in the question, you can see that the data is like this. See, for the autocar, the direct material cost is 78,000. And then the robotoy is 64,000. And then the direct labor, see, 60,000 here and 60,000 here. So the direct labor cost is 60,000 for autocar and 60,000 for the robotoy. So now overhead. Okay, the thing about overhead, there are two things about the overhead. First, you have to know that the total overhead cost in this question, the total overhead cost is equal to 100,000. Okay, total overhead 100,000. So the overhead cost, the total is 100,000. Then the second thing is, the question says you have to divide the cost. The company assigns overhead to products on the basis of direct labor hours. So the basis to assign overhead, the basis overhead, the basis is direct labor hour. Direct labor hour. Okay, that's the second thing that you have to know. The third thing is here the question says each product requires an equal total of direct labor hours. So the basis is direct labor hours, and then the cost is equal for two products. Equal. So if these are the questions, these are the data, how much is the cost for overhead cost for the autocar and robotoy? So see here, the total overhead is 100,000. The basis is direct labor hour. Okay, and also the question said that the overhead cost, each product requires an equal total of direct labor hours. So it means that labor hours here equal to the labor hours here. So when the direct labor hours here is equal to the direct labor hours here, it means that the overhead cost here is equal to the overhead cost here. So if the total is 100,000, how to make it equal? This overhead and this overhead. So you divide the 100,000 divided by 2. You will get equal numbers. So the overhead cost is 50,000 here and also 50,000 here. Okay, now you have got the three costs related to the production. The question asks you to calculate the unit cost. Okay, so how to answer that question? So after you got these three costs, you calculate the total cost. How much is the total cost for total cost? So how much is the total cost for autocar? You add these numbers and you will see that the total cost is 188,000. For the robotoy, the total cost equal to, here you add these numbers and you will see the total is 174,000. The question asks you to calculate unit product cost. Unit cost for each product. So this is total cost. How to calculate the unit cost? The unit cost is like this. Unit cost. To calculate the unit cost, you have to divide the total cost with the quantity of production. Okay. So see in the question, how many products have been produced? So unit completed. 500 autocar has been completed and 1,200 robotoy have been completed. So to calculate the unit cost, you have to divide this cost by 500 units. And then this cost you have to divide by the unit completed, which is 1,200 units. This amount divided by the total unit completed, you will get the unit cost. For this autocar product, this one divided by 500, cost per unit is $376. And then for the robotoy product, 174,000 divided by 1,200 unit, so per unit cost is $145 per unit. Okay, this is the way to calculate the cost per unit product using traditional costing. Okay, using traditional costing. When you use traditional costing, the most common basis of allocation for overhead is direct labor hour or machine hour. That is the most common one. Okay, so now you have answered the first question. Okay, let's see what is the second question. Okay, the second question asks you to calculate the cost per unit for these two products using ABC, activity-based costing. Okay, let's see how to calculate the cost per unit using activity-based costing. Okay, this is important. Okay, when you have to calculate the cost using activity-based costing, the basic formula is same. So the question B, you have to use activity-based costing to calculate cost per unit for two products, auto car and robotoy. Okay, the basic formula is same. The basic formula is every time you have to calculate cost for a product, the basic formula is direct material cost plus direct labor cost plus overhead. Always same. It is always same. So now, okay, let's see what we can do first. So direct material cost, DM is direct material, DL is direct labor. This one is overhead cost. Okay, direct material, so it is clear from the question. The direct material is 78,000. This one is 64. And then direct labor is 60,000. And this one is also 60,000. Now the tricky part is the overhead cost. How to calculate the overhead cost. Okay, remember when you want to use ABC, the first thing that you have to do is you have to know that you will use activities of production as the basis of allocating the overhead cost to the product. So you have, when you want to calculate the overhead, you have to list the activities related to the production. So in this business, there are 4 activities. See in the question, there are 4 activities related to the production. So you have to list the activities here. Okay, you have to list the activity. So I will show you. So the overhead, the first activity is inspection activity, and then the second activity is machining activity. The third activity is material handling, and then number 4 is the receiving activity. Okay, receiving activity. Okay, 4 activities for each product: inspection, machining, handling, and receiving. Okay, that is the first step. You have to identify the activity. The second step, when you want to use the ABC, is you have to calculate the overhead rate for each activity. The overhead rate for each activity. So here, let's see here. The question shows here the inspection activity is related to 20,000 cost. This activity related to 40,000 cost. This activity related to 30,000 cost. Receiving activity is related to 10,000 cost. This is the activity driver. So the thing that you have to do is you have to calculate overhead rate for each activity. Okay, so here, see here, the inspection activity, the cost is 20,000. The inspection hour is 5,000. So what is the overhead rate for this activity? So the overhead rate for this activity is 20,000 cost divided by the 5,000 hours. 5,000 inspection hour. So the overhead rate is equal to this 20,000 divided by 5,000 inspection hour. So the overhead rate is $4 per inspection hour. Okay, this is the overhead rate for the activity. Okay, let's see for this one. For the machining activity, the cost is 40,000. The activity driver is machine hours, so 4,000 machine hours. So the overhead rate for this activity is, the cost is 40,000 divided by the activity driver, 4,000 machine hour. So how much overhead for one machine hour? This number divided by this number, so one machine hour, the overhead cost is $10. Okay, the material handling activity is related to 30,000 cost. The activity driver is 1,500 moves. So you calculate the rate. 30,000 cost divided by 1,500 moves. So how much per move? 20,000 per move. Sorry, $20 per move. Okay, this one, receiving activity cost is 10,000. It is related to 500 orders. So how much is the cost per order? 10,000 divided by 5 orders, 500 orders. So the rate is $20 per order. Okay, now you have got the rate, the overhead rate for each activity. $4 per inspection hour, $10 per machine hour, $20 per move, and $20 per orders. Okay. Now after you have got the rate here, you use the rate to calculate the overhead cost for each product. Okay. Okay, let's see how to calculate the cost. So, for the inspection activity, how much is the cost? Inspection activity, the cost is like this. Okay, here. Okay. So for the inspection activity, for the AutoCAD product, so let's see, we do it. Okay, inspection activity. So the inspection activity, the overhead rate is $4 per activity. See, we have calculated the overhead rate for the inspection activity is $4. For product AutoCAD, for the AutoCAD product, 2000 inspection hour has been done. 2000 inspection hour. The rate is $4 per inspection hour. The activity is 2000 inspection hour. So $4 times 2000. 2000 inspection hour. Robotoy. Okay, let's see Robotoy. Robotoy, the overhead rate is $4. Same. The overhead rate is same. But for Robotoy product, the inspection hour is 3000. So to calculate the overhead cost for Robotoy, $4 overhead rate times the 3000 inspection hour. Okay. Now, $4 times 2000 is equal to 8000. And $4 times 3000 inspection hour is 12,000. Okay. Okay, now for the machining activity, okay, we check the rate first. Machining activity, how much is the rate? We have calculated the rate here. Machining activity, the rate is $10. The next activity is $20. The next activity also $20. So 10, 20, and 20. So here the rate is $10 per machine hour. Okay, for the AutoCAD, the machine hour is 1000. For the Robotoy, the machine hour is 3000. So $10 times 1000 machine hour. This one $10 times 3000 machine hour. Machine hour M. Okay, $10 times 1000. The cost is 10,000. $10 times 3000. The cost is 30,000. Okay, material handling. Okay, remember material handling. The material handling, the rate is $20 per number of moves. Okay, the rate is $20. The rate is $20. Okay, how many moves? Material handling, 500 moves and 1000 moves. Okay, so you put it here, times 500 move and 1000 moves and 1000 moves. So how much is the cost? 20 times 500, $10,000 cost. This one 20 times 1,000, the total is 20,000 cost. Receiving activity, the activity rate is $20 also. $20 per order. For one order activity, $20 overhead. And the total activity here, number of orders, 150 and 350. 150 and 350. So 150 and 350 orders. 150 orders, 350 orders. So if you calculate $20 times 150, then the cost is 3,000. And then here $20 times 350, the cost is 7,000. Okay, so now you have calculated the direct material cost, direct labor cost, and also the overhead cost. Now, after you have calculated all these three costs, now you can calculate the total cost. Okay, how much is the total cost? Total cost. Total cost. So, this one, direct material cost plus direct labor cost plus overhead cost. Direct material cost plus direct labor cost plus overhead cost. If you calculate the overhead, the total overhead is 31,000. Okay, this one plus this one plus this one. So the total cost is 169,000. AutoCAD, the total cost under or using the ABC is 169,000. Robotoy, the total cost is equal to, you add all these numbers, the total is equal to 193,000. Okay, so now the question asks you to calculate unit cost. So what is the unit cost? So unit cost or cost per unit. Unit cost. So how to calculate unit cost? Divide by the number of product completed. So this one divide by 500 because 500 units of AutoCAD have been completed. This one you divide by 1,200 robotoys have been completed. So this one divide by 500. The answer is $338 per unit. The cost per unit is 338. And then for this one, this number divided by 1,200, the cost per unit is $160.83. Okay, so now this is the unit cost when you use the activity-based costing. $338 and $160.83. Before this, you have calculated the cost using the traditional costing. See, there is a difference. Traditional costing, $376 for AutoCAD cost, and cost for Robotoy is $145 per unit. $145 per unit. When you use activity-based costing, $338 per unit and $160 per unit. So you have to know how to calculate cost for a product using the activity-based costing. Remember the step again. Direct material cost plus direct labor cost. These two costs are very clear. It is traceable to every product. But the tricky part is to calculate the overhead. So when you use ABC to calculate the overhead, first you have to identify the activities. So in this sample question, there are 4 activities. So first you have to identify the activities. The second thing that you have to do is here. You have to calculate the overhead rate for each activity. Overhead rate for each activity. So to calculate the overhead rate for each activity, you have seen the process before. So in this sample question, the inspection activity, the rate is $4 per activity. Machining activity, $10 per activity. For this activity, $20 per activity. For receiving activity, the rate is $20 per activity. After you have calculated the rate for each activity, then you take the rate times the activity for each product. For example, here the product auto car, the inspection activity is 2,000 inspection hour. Here the activity is 3,000 inspection hour. The rate times the activity for each product. So, and then you will get the overhead cost. Okay, here you will get the overhead cost for each activity. If there are 4 activities, then overhead cost for 4 activities. Okay, then you can calculate the total cost for the product, and if the product has multiple units, then you divide with the completed units, and then you will get the unit cost. Okay, so these are the things that you have to know. Okay, the next question. See, in this sample question, the next question is, the question asks you, okay, so which costing system will provide most accurate cost per unit information? Why? Okay, you have seen two methods that can be used to calculate cost per unit product for a product. You have seen the how to calculate using traditional costing, and then you have seen how to use ABC to calculate the cost per unit. So the question asks you, which costing system will provide the most accurate cost per unit information? Okay, so the answer is activity-based costing will provide the most accurate cost per unit information. Okay, there are two main reasons why activity-based costing is more accurate, can provide more accurate cost per unit. Okay, remember this. So the answer is ABC. Why? There are two reasons. The first reason is activity-based costing, ABC, uses more allocation base. More activity-based costing uses more allocation bases. Okay, remember, uses more allocation bases. Activity-based costing is more accurate because first, activity-based costing uses more allocation bases. If you see, the traditional costing only uses one basis of allocation, which is in this sample question the labor hour. But when you use the ABC, you have used 4 allocation bases related to 4 activities. So that's why most of the time ABC is more accurate. The second reason why ABC is more accurate is because ABC activity-based costing is more accurate because ABC uses activities of production as the allocation basis. ABC is more accurate because it uses activity of production as the allocation basis. When ABC uses activity to allocate overhead costs, it follows the logic of the higher the activity, the more cost a business has to pay. That is the logic. If you have a business, the more activity of production you do, the more cost you have to pay. That is the logic. ABC is more accurate because it uses activities of production to allocate overhead costs, and it follows the logic of more activities, more costs. Okay, and then question D. The question D asks you, list and explain 2 challenges of implementing ABC in a business. So, you know now ABC is better compared to the traditional costing. But if you want to use ABC in a company, you will face many challenges. The main challenge that you will face is this one. So the main challenge that you have to face is when you want to implement ABC in a business, the first challenge that you will face is it is difficult to identify activities of production. Remember, the first step in implementing ABC is you have to identify activities related to the production of a product. So, if you have your own business, sometimes the production process is very complex. When you try to identify the activities, there are too many activities. In some businesses, they have to hire a consultant to advise them, to consult them about the activities of production, to identify the activities of production. So it is difficult to identify the activities of production, and if you have to hire a consultant, it can be expensive also. It's expensive to identify the activities of production. Okay. The second thing that is challenging during the implementation of the ABC is the cost calculation. The cost calculation is complex. So, if you want to implement ABC in a business, the thing that you have to know is the cost calculation can be very complex. If you see the sample question that we have done here, in the sample question, there are only 4 activities, and it is quite difficult for us to calculate the production cost. It is already complex. It is already difficult. Imagine that if you have a big business, you produce many products, and there are many activities, so the calculation can be very complex. So that is the second challenge that has to be settled when you want to implement ABC in a business. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. If you have anything, you can communicate with me in the comment section.